and hailing all the way from the great and wet state of Washington, outside of Seattle. It's my good friend, Derek Regan. I still feel like you're my good friend, even though we don't hang out much. Do you feel the same way?
Heck yeah, man.
That's
a good friendship is measured by picking up the phone and you're asking me to be on this amazing podcast. And it's like we never left each other.
I felt the same way. Like it was a couple years back, right? I was up there doing some, one of those interviews we were doing with Boeing, and I think you and I grabbed a beer at a local brewery for like 5 minutes or something, right? Didn't get a chance to see too much of each other, but it definitely felt like we didn't skip a beat. I miss
That's all
you.
it takes.
I miss you, brother. How are you, man? How's life?
Yeah, it's amazing. I live up here, moved from Tucson, nice and dry with you, and came up to my little forest retreat where it's wet and cold and amazing all at the same time.
And then you started reproducing.
Oh yeah, twin girls. My little forest, my forest tribe of foxes up here. Yeah,
it's awesome. We also I should note we also have my beautiful bride, Lacey, on with us. Say hello, Lacey.
Hello, Lacey.
Hey, Derek. I don't know if you've listened to any of these, but the first thing we like to do is establish if our listener has a nickname. Now, I know that there's one that you have that I gave you. And people here in Tucson still call you by that name. But do you have any others? And then we'll tell the listeners what the name I gave you.
Well,
any nicknames?
See, I have one that I think it was also while I was in Tucson. You guys might have known it. It was on my jersey, my Sonora Pirates jersey, Donkey Chaser. That was one of them.
I think that was self-proclaimed, or did that come from?
It was
Brian?
It was like an inside joke between like Brett and Nate and a few other people, and it became like video game handle and then a mountain bike handle. It was kind of weird, but it's awesome.
Right on. And the name that I call you is McLovin.
Way better, by the way. Better than Donkey Chaser.
And it's so funny because you do not resemble the character from that movie McLovin at all. And so I think that's what makes it so funny is that it's when you say, hey, McLovin's coming, people have the expectation of what you're going to look like, and that's not at all what you look like.
How did that come about?
Well,
I don't remember.
You know how Josh is. Come on, Lacey. Like, he just gives you the weirdest
random,
name.
right? It was random.
And it sticks.
It totally sticks. When we were
that
just
guy's he's like a marketing manager. He just like gets it in brainworm at everyone, and they're like, "Oh, it's McLovin." Like, shit, I know what that nickname.
So there wasn't a real reason, because we were just in Hawaii, and they were like we were at this little gift shop, and there's these little McLovin ID cards you could purchase, and we both looked at them and we were just laughing.
I took a picture
right?
and sent the picture to Derek.
I know.
Anytime I see McLovin, I automatically think of you, and I'm like, I don't even know how he got that nickname.
It's Mastermind Josh. He made me an unforgettable on the McLovin team, man. I love it.
Infamous, man. I think it was that first day, and I've told the story with you like 100 times, but like we were in a really tough situation, and Derek walked in and like managed this really, really crazy and tough situation at work when we were working together. And he did it off the cuff, and it was amazing and blew me away. And there was no one else that I know that could do what he did. And I knew from that moment on that we were going to get along really well. And I totally miss working with you, brother. It's
like, yeah,
for real.
Well, we both work in some important jobs in important industries, and it's good times. So we're doing good. Just different dimensions.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. So I think we want to start with Mr. McLovin. Maybe first, just tell us a little bit about like what's it like to mountain bike in general. Up like where are you at? What are the local trails like? What's it like up there, and maybe in contrast to what you saw here?
Yeah, I'll give you a Cliff Notes history of myself. So I grew up mountain biking. I started mountain biking basically when I was 8. My dad actually got me in the local scene in California, Snow Summit. And I started mountain biking back in the early 90s. And
just for the record, I didn't know any of this, so this is awesome.
Yeah, dude. So you're gonna learn a little bit about my history, right? So
this is awesome.
I have a pretty amazing picture. I'll have to get it up on your website or something if you kind of blog along with these. But like it's my dad got me all geared up. My first ever race, I raced in Snow Summit downhill, UCI circuit, and you have to buy into the UCI membership. You get like a membership card and everything back in that day. And I did my
this is like late 90s or something like that, right?
Yeah, okay. like mid 90s.
Midnight. So like downhill was like pretty much just getting off the ground at that point.
It was like the second year I think it had ever been held, like the circuit. And so I go up there with my dad, and I had a full hard, fully rigid like Huffy from like Target. Like no joke, dude.
You go up to Mammoth and do a downhill bike race on a hardtail Huffy? Seriously?
Fully rigid, yeah.
Oh man.
Fully rigid Huffy. No, you know what it did? It had those initial forks on it, but they were like just the solid rubber bumpers.
Yeah, just
they weren't even forks. Yeah, the elastomer, but they were like the super hard ones on like a Huffy, right? My dad gets me suited up in his old motorcycle gear. So I got like the full chest guard and like knee guards and like all that get up, dude. I looked freaking awesome. I had this big old white bell helmet, not even full face. And man, I looked primo. Anyways.
Oh, dude, if you have that picture, could you send it to me so I can post it on our
dude,
Instagram when we actually post this episode? That'll be a perfect intro.
Derek, where's Snow Summit? Is that like Big Bear, like
east
of
LA?
Big Bear. East of LA?
Yeah, Big Bear.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Snow Summit, Big Bear, up like right east LA there. Yep. And so, you know, I think I got like 15th or something out of like 40, which I was like pretty proud of myself. My dad actually entered, and he was same get up, kind of same setup, and he got like third in the old man category. Pretty proud of him on that one.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I didn't know your dad
rode. He didn't really, but he did it when I started riding back in the day. It was kind of cool. So that was a cool little history. And I was, you know, off and on, I was mountain biking some more. I decided the downhill was a little scary for me, so I went and tried a couple of cross country races, and I kind of stopped there because those are really, really hard. And then just kind of did some like all around riding, off and on.
This is all in Southern California.
In Southern California, yeah. And then kind of fell off for a while, and then when I got back to Tucson, it just ignited the whole fire. So I've had kind of mountain bike in my soul, you know, since I was a kid, and then you know, really took off when I moved to Tucson, I would say.
Yeah, we all rekindled that and found that love together.
Yeah, the Sonoran countryside there is incredible mountain biking, and it really sparked that passion and kind of took me to the next progression level of my mountain biking career in life, right? And then I went up to the PNW, and it was like graduating to that next level progression. Just the style of riding up here.
For like someone that's not like hip, can you tell me what PNW means?
Yeah, so Pacific Northwest is a term that kind of encompasses the geography of Oregon, Washington, Idaho type area. So it's the Pacific Northwest, and even reaches up into like Canada,
like British
and
Columbia.
Vancouver. Yeah, all the way up to like Whistler area and stuff is considered, you know, Pacific Northwest. So that's the hip way to say it is kind of PNW. That, you know, there's the actual brands called PNW and others that make the whole
I just got a
thing out of it.
As a matter of fact, I'm holding in my hands right now a 50 millimeter PNW stem that I just ordered for my new bike because the stem is too short. So,
PNW components is getting pretty good.
Yeah, I have a bunch they do stuff locally. I mean, I think they do stuff in the U.S. too, right? Their production happens mostly in the U.S.
Yeah, productions I think in the U.S. and then their dropper systems and their lever systems and stuff are like actually affordable. So pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah, we actually just put the I can't remember which one. We just put a PNW. Lacey had like a reverb stealth, which is the kind of hydraulic dropper post that Specialized has. And we and they're infamous for like dying and having significant problems. They work great while they work, but then when they don't work, they crash and burn hard. So we just replaced that like in the last 3 weeks with a P&W dropper. So we're pretty stoked about it.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, Nate. You know, I've had one on my bike for hard use over like at least 2 years. No, I haven't even serviced it, and it still works amazing.
Oh, that's great. And you guys have some harsh weather there too, right? So like you get the rain and all that kind of stuff. So your bikes get abused.
Speaking
Pretty
of
much.
bikes,
I mean,
what do you ride now, Derek?
So I've gone through 3 different bikes. So I started with Santa Cruz Bronson up here, and then I switched over.
Bronson was a 27.5?
27.5, yeah. It was the 2015 Bronson before they switched over to the newer configuration. And so that's kind of why I switched brands, because then I went to a local company out of Bellingham called Evil, so Evil Bike, and
like the
jump
Evil
on their
Reckoning or something like that, or
yeah. So that's my newest bike, the Evil Reckoning. And I've also rode previously on their Following. It's called the Following More Better, and it's kind of a shorter travel all-arounder bike. And then I recently went up to the Reckoning, which is a 29er. Like really long travel bike, 160, 170 travel. And wow, yeah, I've always kind of craved more travel, but this is an all around. You can still pedal it long travel bike. Pretty incredible.
What's the suspension design on that bike?
They've got this proprietary mid-link kind of system, and it's hard to explain. All of them have different geometry, different kind of setups, but that kind of their proprietary mid system is it just feels, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of you have to ride one, and that even when you look it up on like YouTube and stuff, they're like you just have to ride it. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it says it's got 166 millimeters. I'm looking at it online right now. It says it's got 166 millimeters of travel. That's pretty specific.
Yeah. And it's pretty cushy, which feels amazing.
They've got a Delta system. They call it, that's their suspension system. They call it the Delta system.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
So I know you do the Enduros up there, but that's a pretty big travel bike. What other kind of riding are you doing up there? Like, tell us a little bit about the trails. I know I've seen like the bike park is awesome, right? That you go to. Don't you live right near Duthie?
Yeah, so I live like 20 minutes away from Duthie. So Duthie,
amazing.
What
right?
is Duthie? I don't know what Duthie is.
Like one of the best bike
Duthie
parks ever.
Is it
Duthie Hill is.
Go ahead. Buddy.
No, Duthie Hill is a free mountain bike park, and it's called a progression park. So the local trails up here in P&W, in Washington specifically are all governed by what's called the Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance, and it's a statewide kind of mountain bike group that has a bunch of different subgroups all around the state, and you buy a membership and you donate both time and money to the alliance, and they build brand new trails, they maintain existing trails, and advocate for continued trail use throughout the entire state. And it's pretty incredible. So amongst those trails, they make anything from adventure trails to jump trails to progression parks, pump tracks, and all the like, right?
Hey,
it's
Derek,
amazing.
when you say adventure trail, what does that mean?
Like a long over the Cascades type trail. They'll connect it. Backcountry.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they advocate to keep it open. A lot of those adventure trails get taken over and are made, horseback or hiking only. So they advocate to have it fully mixed use.
Right.
And a lot of cases, they've made it mountain bike only use, which is pretty incredible. So, yeah.
No, that's super cool. So you obviously you have a membership that you pay for yearly, and then you also do help them with trail maintenance and events and stuff like that as well. Is that pretty much?
Yep. Yeah, and I've actually helped them out with some coaching and volunteered at some of their kind of mountain bike camps, and they do big demo days every year. It's pretty neat.
Oh, that's super cool, man. Lacey's been getting more involved with some of our local groups here. She's done a couple of the trail maintenance days up on Mount Lemon, and she, I don't know if she wants me to say this or not, but she's secretly, I guess, planning to maybe move into mountain bike coaching as well.
Yeah, you'll love it. I mean, to see the satisfaction and how fast the kids progress is absolutely incredible, really. It's a cool experience.
Okay, so we cut you off, but you were telling us your history, and so you started out in SoCal, and you dabbled there off and on, tried different stuff, had the awesome experience with your dad taking you with the full moto kit to your first downhill race, and then ended up in Tucson with us, where we had the Snoring Pirate team, and we were, messing around. I had a big group of drinking friends that or friends that like to drink and then ride bikes a little bit, and because I think we drank more than we rode, but that was fun. And then you moved up to PNW and just got into it. You were kind of going through your bikes with the Bronson and the two different Evils. So like tell us more about the trails there. I want to hear more about the trails.
Yeah, let me tell you more about the trails, because I have kind of a funny story to wrap it around there too. Because I moved up to PNW for work. Right, I was traveling back and forth as a traveling consultant for my first part of being up here. And I was staying in a hotel right next to a local bike shop. So, I was like, I heard some stories about, the trails up here and everything. And so I went to the local bike shop and asked to rent a bike. Well, none of the places rented bikes for more than a day, right? And the day rentals were like $100 to $200 a day. I was like, geez Louise. Like, went on, I was like, seeing if I could buy a bike, but I had this little hotel room and everything. So I went to the local big box outfitter that had a good return policy, and I bought myself a brand new bike with the intent of returning it after 11 months.
Did you actually return it?
Yeah. So the funny thing is, like, I started doing enduro and kind of harder downhill riding, and it was a Cannondale like full hardtail, but I think it was, I don't know, it wasn't a scalpel. It was a hardtail. It had a lefty on it, but I was running it pretty hard and doing, learning drops and jumps and gaps and everything, and I ended up tacoing the front rim like at month like 10 and a half, I think, or 11, like right at my target to take it back.
Right.
And I took it back, and the guy's like, why are you returning it today? It's like, it didn't really fit my style of riding. It's like, okay, no problem.
No.
Yeah.
So you took it back with the taco tire?
Yeah.
They took it back? Is said big box store still in business?
Said big box store still in business, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, but you really didn't tell us more about your trails. You did tell us a funny story, so tell us more about your trails, buddy.
Yeah, so on that is funny. Okay, so leading it out of that story, they took me to Duty Hill, first ever ride in this area. And I'm on this Cannondale hardtail with a lefty fork. So I'm getting familiar with the lefty. It's probably the second time I'm in this thing. And I've got up here it gets dark, like in the fall and the winter at like 3:30 p.m. Right? So we're getting out of work and it's pitch dark. They take me to Duty Hill. And the trails at Duty Hill are progressive. Anything from like nice, bermy, flowy cross-country trails to like intermediate jump trails to like drops and wood features that drop out of the trees and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So these guys take me on like an intermediate trail with like mandatory drops. And I'm riding at night in the wet on a hardtail with a left. So that was my intro to PNW riding, right? And Duty is a great intro to PNW, like trails and progression in general. But he took me on like the intermediate stuff. And I'm in Tucson in the rocks and the sand, and I get up here to the loamy, wet, like wood featured drops and jumps and stuff. And I'm just like, this is next level stuff. It was incredible. So I clean everything. I got this light kit, and I'm just like adrenaline pumping at Duty, which usually if you're progressing, your adrenaline's pumping, right? So that's pretty awesome. but back to the trails, and so I'll tie that story. Bike's gone. It was served its purpose, and it was absolutely amazing, and introduced me to P&W.
So where's your Ellsworth in all this, man? Is it just sitting at home in San Diego or here back in Tucson?
No, it's actually up here now, but it was sitting in Tucson at the time.
Ah, right on.
Yeah, good old Ellsworth. Oh, that was a good bike. Wonder what happened to that company.
They're back, man. They're back making bikes.
Are they coming back?
They went out for a minute, and then they just re-released the Truth, and it's a bigger travel, all carbon, updated suspension design. And I was looking at one. Yeah, it looks good. You know, I mean, like, it looks good, but I mean, we talk about this on this podcast all the time. I'm sure you know this really well, that like the bikes that we rode, 10 years ago are garbage compared to the bikes we ride now. I mean, even cheap, they just didn't have the geometry figured out back then, and they do now. So
yeah, they thought they were trying. Everyone was trying. And I liked the Ellsworth at that time, but it would not work for me today. Not for my riding anymore. No, never. Yeah. Yeah. So, the other trails around here, if you go to like the Tiger Mountain Network and the Raging River Network, new big popular ones here, it's really set up to enduro. So going into kind of what enduro is, you start at the bottom. There's no chair assist. You ride basically to the top of the mountain to the summit, generally around 1,500, feet of elevation. And you have a series of trail networks and, different segments of trails, different styles of trails, anything from double black downhill to like bermy, sweeping berms, technical trails, including like mandatory drops and gap jumps and all kinds of those type of things, all the way to the bottom, right? And then you can kind of pick your own adventure coming down, and then you start. They have these different climbing only trails that connect and kind of split off of those pick your own adventure trails on the down, and you can ride back to the summit and kind of make your own epic adventure out of the whole day. That's like that's how you basically define Tiger Mountain, which is pretty incredible. And then the Raging River Trail Network is becoming more and more kind of connected in that way as well. So it's really like if you define a perfect trail of your style, you can find it up here. Kind of cool.
So your climbing is like what? Fire road climbing, single track, just fire road climbing, or single track, smooth climbing, just steep, right?
It's not even steep. Yeah. So some of them are
gradual.
Most of them are gradual. Most of the enduro races specifically, you're mostly all on logging roads, like for most trails. Like, but these networks that I talk about, they have connector climbing trails, which are single track, nice and smooth, gradual, will kind of switch back. So it's really nice.
You're not doing a bunch of technical climbing or anything.
No, not much technical climbing. Not like enduros or every enduro I've done, not really any technical climbing. And because one of the things in the format, when they do put technical climbing on it, it becomes like, I have had one race where I went through a technical climb, but it was like a choke point because everyone's transitioning from stages. We'll have to go into that, right?
In the technical climb, was it during the transition, which is the non-timed part?
Exactly.
Okay.
It was not timed. So transitions
so no one's
in
incentivized to go fast, right? They're just like, I just got to make.
No, so everyone's and everyone gets off the bike, and it becomes like a social thing, which is a cool part of it. You get in kind of a choke point, technical part, and everyone just walks, right? They walk their bike, they talk about the race, talk about what's going on. So it's kind of cool, social part of it.
So Lacey's getting ready to do her first enduro race up at the Haas Trail System in Phoenix, which is kind of Mesa. And if you ever make it out back out this way, or have to find yourself in Phoenix, man, you need to go check out the Haas Trail System, which is
totally
pretty brand new. But she's got a million questions for you. So why don't you
Let's go.
Ask him some questions, Lacey. Let's see. Strategy questions.
Well, I was curious, so I was thinking about this, and I know that you're you're not timed on the uphill. You're only timed on the downhill pieces or of the segments, right? So in the one I'm doing, this like 3 stages, right?
Yep.
Now, what I'm curious about is when they do enduros, like does everybody do stage 1, then everybody does stage 2 and stage 3, or do they switch it up? Like, does it get? I think the Haas race is going to have a fair amount of people at it. Last year there was like 300 or 400 people. It was a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
Like, does everybody start at the same stage and it's just kind of spread out by how long it takes people to get to the stages?
Yeah. Is it a shotgun start is what you're asking. Do they start different groups on different stages?
So it depends on how the Enduro organizers are running it. I've been in Enduros where it's kind of staggered starts by categories, and then everyone goes to the first stage. Everyone lines up. So you leave the start line and you get to stage 1, and you sit there and like for an hour in line. So that's sometimes when an organizer makes everyone go into stage 1, that's usually what happens.
So you're in line.
You're just chilling. You get done with the climb and you chill at the start of stage 1. It's usually what happens, which is kind of nice because they usually make you climb the entire mountain from base to summit, and then they start the first stage at the summit. That's usually how they do it.
And that helps spread out the riders basically because it's
totally.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that helps with that, and it also just whips your behind to get to the top. It really puts the enduro aspect to the name, right?
So what I was wondering is like, if you just start based on like when you get to the top and what line you're in, right? So let's say everybody lines up and you're a fast climber and you get to the top early, right? Like,
yep.
And they run people in like 30-second to a minute intervals down, right?
Correct.
So let's say, you get up and you have like you have a bunch of fast riders behind you, right?
Or some slow riders in front of you.
Or some slow riders in front of you. Is there any strategy to like transitioning, or is it just, it is what it is?
Lacey doesn't want to get beat. She doesn't want to get stuck behind someone going super slow. She doesn't want to get overtaken by a bunch of dudes.
No, I'm just saying, like, that could really mess with your time if you're like catching up to people or getting passed by people, right? It could totally mess with your time.
Yeah. So the best, it can inevitably be happening at stage 1. But I think what happens is you kind of get filtered through the first climb in stage 1, and then your stage 2 and 3 will be dialed. So that's how it's worked out for me. But I have gotten lucky on stage 1, and I've also gotten unlucky on stage 1 because you don't know. You can chat with the people in line and kind of ask and like feel it out, but that's kind of awkward as well, right?
Like, do you suck?
Do you suck?
It's like, are you fast? Are you not? Can I go ahead of you? You can kind of gauge it based on the climb. But the climb does kind of filter that first part out, but you still don't know like how good they are on the downhill.
Right, because you get a cross-country rider, they're going to be really fast on the uphill.
Right.
And they might suck at the downhill.
Right. So you could get totally unlucky on stage 1. And I don't really, besides being in like the pros and having that first full shot to the stage 1, you're kind of, it's crapshoot, right? You don't know.
Well, I don't plan on like climbing the transitions fast or anything. I'm just wondering, I don't know that it makes any difference for me. I'm just curious, right? Like, is there strategy involved in this or not?
One of the strategies is you can ask for an additional 30 seconds. So that's if you don't feel comfortable and you're confident that this person looks like you can catch them. If you're judging by looks, right? Like say I wanted an additional 30 seconds, and the starter will always kind of honor that. So that's kind of cool. That's part of that. Could be part of your strategy.
If you get someone that you think is going to be dog slow in front of you, you might be able to help yourself. And like how? So Derek, help me understand. How long like
are the stages?
Like how many minutes and how many miles are we talking per stage?
Oh boy, so they range anywhere from I would say 3 minutes, a little under 3 minutes, to like 12 minutes, which are brutal.
Because I'm thinking of like the Haas, one of the longest stages at Haas, I think it's going to be in that, 7 to 10 minute mark, depending on if you're faster or you're slower. It's a fairly long, stage. So I'm thinking, 30 seconds is like, you can totally catch someone or be caught by someone in 30 seconds on that long of a stage.
Yep, you totally could. So, but if they give you a minute and you say I want an extra 30, so you can totally catch someone, and then passing just is the same passing policies as riding a 24-hour race or a cross country race. And
does that mean you just like tire rub them until they get off, or
get out of my way?
Just kidding.
No, you can tire rub them and knock them off. Yeah, let's do like
it's like hockey rules.
Like road rash, like get your chain out and whip them on the way by. Yeah, man, road rash. Oh, that's a good video game. Oh boy, now we're showing our age, right?
I don't even know what you're talking about right now, Derek.
I think you're in a different age bracket than we are.
Yeah, you're like 10 years young. Like, how old are you right now?
You're in a different decade.
I don't even know, dude. I'm old.
Well, I'm 46, bro, so I think I got you.
In the mid-90s, when you were like in your jumpsuit racing down Enduro, Josh and I were like in high school. We were graduating.
No, I think you guys were in college.
Yeah,
I graduated from high school in 1994.
Yeah.
I'm 39, so.
Oh, so you're 7. You're not that much younger than me. You're 7 years younger than me.
Yeah, I'm hitting the 40 this year.
Big 4-0. Big 4-0. Okay.
My target is to be in the best shape of my life at 40, so hold me to it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Since I've known you, you've always been in pretty good shape. Fuck you for that. And and so I can't imagine you in much better shape than I've seen you in the past. So good luck to you, bro.
Oh man, I gotta go next level, dude. Come on.
Right on, man. That's most awesome. Okay, so let me just make sure I understand how this works, right? So you have, is it like somewhere between 3 and 5 stages? Is that typical per race?
That's correct. Should I just kind of give a summary of what
just take me through the whole thing and
yeah, let's do it.
I think specifically like any strategy that you've learned or picked up, I think would help Lacey. Any lessons learned that could help her in her first race would be super appreciative.
So I might have to be the one other girl in my category, or it may just be me.
She's like so worried. Wait, I got before you get into this, Derek, I got to tell you. So Lacey did one. She did one of the MBAA cross country races this year. Yeah, and since so I think when Derek was here, you weren't really riding that much because you were having the kids at that time.
Well, when Derek was first here, when we first met him, remember you guys would come home from work and I'd have already gone for a ride because I worked from home, right?
Yes.
And I'd go ride in Star Pass by myself.
That's right. So Derek saw you when you were riding,
but
before
only
you stopped.
At first. But then I stopped.
Then you had kids and you stopped. But like Lacey is like, she's got 200 crowns out here or something like that. Like she's just crazy fast. So she's like, I'm going to do one race. So she goes and does one of the NBA races and just destroys the women. Just by like minutes, like just beats them. Like multiple minutes. So much so that they're
it's a very local race. It's like nothing.
Whatever.
But
it's the Arizona MBAA race series.
Yeah, but
right?
there's only like a few girls.
Anyways, they're like, who the fuck is this girl on the podium? So pissed, they're all bitching at her because she showed up out of nowhere. Right? She did one race, destroyed them, and then never came back. So she is so worried about doing this enduro race that she's going to go and there's going to be like one other girl and that girl's going to beat her.
I'm like, I really want there to be a lot of people. So if, so like.
At least you can beat somebody.
I can beat somebody, right? So it's funny.
All right. Take us through.
That's amazing.
Take us through.
I was just kind of reminiscing on riding with Lacey, like doing some epic rides. That was always fun. You were fast. It was fun.
I don't even remember.
You and Brad both, dude. You guys are just blowing me away.
Brad's
Josh and I would be dying back in the back. they'd be like done.
Brad's on a whole nother level, man. He's like basically
he's
like semi-pro at this point. Yeah.
I know, dude. I'm so impressed. I'm so proud of that, dude.
I mean, he rode the tour this past weekend and I think came in 80th out of 7,000 people or something.
Oh my goodness!
And like in the 7,000 was like names like Christian Valdivende or whatever his last Valdiverde and George Hincapie and like all like legitimate pro cyclists, right? Like Crazy.
I'm so proud of that dude. He's just taking it as a lifestyle and just taking it to the next level, and it's incredible to watch him, just progress every year.
It is, man. And he's he's got his 2 boys, and he's like figured out like a way to train, like, so it doesn't disrupt his family, like in a crazy way. He rides like super early in the morning in his garage before everyone gets up. And then I think he goes on like 1 long ride a week. And that's basically what he does.
Dude, it's incredible. Amazing. Good job, Brad. If you're listening, good job.
Good job, Brad.
All
right, so take us through. I'll stop talking. I'll stop talking. I promise. We've only tried to do this like 14 times, so I'll stop. Yeah, talking.
We're like what?
Yeah, just
like 45 minutes in. We can't even get to Enduro.
Take us through the Enduro.
We're gonna have to do it again, dude.
That's okay. That's okay. We could totally do that. Yeah, take us through. Give Lacey some pointers. Help her not lose to the only other girl in her category.
Well, first of all, Lacey, you're not going to lose. It's pretty straightforward. And if you've been training at what's the mountain you call it? Angel Mountain or whatever?
Angel Fire.
Angel Fire, yeah. You've been training there. You're going to do fine. Okay, so here's Enduro. And this is how I explained it to Nate and others when I convinced them to come up and do an Oregon Enduro.
Wait, did Nate come up and do an Enduro with you?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, awesome. You're gonna have to tell me that story too. But let's. I want to derail you again. So put that on the back burner. We'll come back to the.
We got lots to catch up on.
Yes, we do. Go ahead.
Okay, so Enduro is you have 3 to 5 stages that are timed, and those 3 to 5 stages are primarily downhill. Most stages are all downhill, but some of the race organizers like to throw a little sprint uphill in the middle of some of the stages, which is pretty painful. But just prepare for downhill anywhere from 2.5 minutes to 12 minutes. I think I've been on a 12-minute stage, and it was completely brutal. And it really takes the endurance out of you, especially when it's on your 3rd or 5th stage. So prepare for that. Strategy is, make sure your endurance is high enough, both in your upper body. I would say your forearms, your grip strength, and that of the like, to make sure you can push and hold on and control your bike for that amount of time, right? Especially through some technical terrain. If you're hitting rock gardens and everything, that really will start feeling it about 8 minutes in. So that's a big part of the strategy on those longer stages. And again, race organizers, the devious ones, will put those longer stages at the 4 or 5 stage marks. So it's even harder because you've already done probably 3,000 feet of climbing at that point, and you've done 2 to 3 other stages where you got your adrenaline fully peaked out, right? Your heart rate max. So makes it kind of hard at that 4th and 5th stage. Make sure your upper body is really tuned to sustain the grip, sustain the mental strength through the full technical stage at that length. So that's a key point. So back to Enduro, there's 1 to 5 stages as mentioned. There's kind of some strategy on the length of the stages, the technicality of the straight stages. They can range anywhere from nice kind of bermy, flowy stages to more technical. And then on the longer stages, sometimes they'll mix them. So they'll have like half of it be technical and they'll connect it to a non-technical. So that's pretty cool. And again, it's how the race is kind of designed by the race organizers too. So quickly kind of find good race series, good race locations, because they're able to link up, all the stages in good, nice, clean ways. And then the climbs. So let's talk about the climbs. So between each stage, there's a point called a transition. And the longest transition is usually from start to stage 1. And generally, they'll have you climb the entire mountain, or sometimes do like a big loop to get to stage 1. It's really to kind of warm you up and really, burn that initial energy out of you, kind of going back to the endurance element of it, right? And then you get done with stage 1. We kind of talked about like stage 1 could be a choke point. So you'll do that big climb, and then you got to wait in a line to start on your stage, right? So that's usually how it kind of works on that stage 1 element. And then you finish stage 1, you go into transition. So, if you read upon the EDA, the Enduro World Series, or those, there's a set time between each stage. That on kind of one of the amateur.
Hey, Derek, are you walking around by any chance?
No, I'm not.
Okay, we
Those
lost.
are kind of cutting in and out.
You're cutting in and out for a second there, but I think you're good now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I live in the forest, so apologies if the forest eats my Wi-Fi.
No worries.
Yeah, so the stages, unlike the EWS, which have set times between stages in transition time, it's usually open, and there's just a general cutoff time for the race in general. So that's kind of how they make it,
so you don't have specific times per stage. You just have you have to finish the whole event in this many hours, and if you don't get the whole event, you're done. Interesting. Is it the same? Yeah. Is it the same way for the Haas?
I think so. It looks like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it makes it a lot better for an amateur race, right? And there's different strategies you can play with that. So, for example, if you need to fuel up, you can, meaning you run out of food or water or something, you need to stop and eat on the trail. If you have food and water, you can do that and just get your endurance back up to snuff. Let's say after stage 2, you really wanted to perform well on stage 3, you could take a long break. That's an option, right? I've seen people actually go take a nap in their car, which has never been my strategy, but whatever works for other people.
I can't imagine you stopping to take a nap in the middle of it.
I know, dude.
You would have so much adrenaline pumping. How in the world?
I don't know. Some people it trips me out when I see different people's strategies.
I guess it depends on how much weed you smoke.
That's what I was going to say. They're high for sure. They're high.
It is the Pacific Northwest, also known for weed smoking.
That's probably a true story, but so yeah, different strategies. People can come down, they'll eat, or if you have a mechanical, some places have some a mechanical tent between stage 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. Or else you got to go down to the base camp to your car or whatever, take care of mechanicals if they allow it. Some races will have rules against that, and they'll DNF you if you have to leave and aren't self-sufficient on the trail. So that's kind of something to consider. I don't know. Yeah, so some circuits make you have to be fully self-sufficient, and then they'll have major mechanical tent help between one of the stages. And so that's something to consider. A lot of guys will bring big enduro packs on those races where you have to be self-sufficient. So that entails, spare parts and spare chains and all kinds of stuff. So
what do you bring with you? What do you carry with you?
So I recently just got an SWE pack, which is fantastic pack. Doesn't bounce around at all, and I pack it full. The nutrition is most what I carry, because I burn a lot of salt and I burn a lot of calories fast, so I have to eat every 15 minutes while I'm riding. Kind of crazy. So I figured that out about myself. So I'm packing a lot of food. I have a nice bell helmet with the detachable full face. So that's key, especially if you're in any type of heat. Taking that full face off, it makes it way better to climb all the way back up the mountain.
Oh, that's interesting. So you take the full face off and just strap it to your U-Swi or whatever, and then head up that way. Yep.
Yeah. So that's pretty key, and most people are doing that. You'll see a lot of the enduro riders have goggles. Right, goggles are pretty key, especially on a dusty day. Everyone will say, "Oh, yeah, you're so enduro," but it actually makes a big difference. Just wearing goggles even if you're not wearing a full face, goggles are way better in doing any type of downhill trail, any kind of dust. I've tried both glasses and goggles are the way to go. So that's just something you can tune in.
Do you use those? Do you use the I don't know what they call the outer tear-offs? There you go. Do you use those?
I've never used them, but I've seen a lot of the people use them. I guess I don't have enough skill to think about
reach up and grab your face in the middle of a technical section. Jesus. I got to imagine like environmentally, it's not super sound either, because you're just basically throwing those things on the ground, right?
I think so. I think that's how it works. I know the UCI downhill guys, like if you watch them race, they'll tear them off, and obviously there's someone there
there's like 100 people that'll just walk the course and clean the course after they. But for your amateur enduro race, probably not getting that kind of support.
Yep. So that's the main thing. So that's kind of a little bit about enduro. So in the transition and the different elements of enduro based on kind of different circuits you do. I can imagine like the one in Tucson is probably, or not Tucson, Phoenix. It's probably, 3 stages. You're probably going to have to do that first good climb, and then they might make you do it or variants of it twice. I don't know how it's fully going to lay out, but
I mean, I can see the course from last year, and the conditions here are so much different than like a big mountain enduro or any kind of enduro in Pacific Northwest, right? Because you're still dealing with like hills relatively, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they ran in, they have a small series here and it's fairly new, but I would say it's a very, more like local, more amateur enduro series. That's my guess, right? They run one of the races at Sunrise Mountain, and I've heard that may be more
akin
on par with maybe some of the other enduros. It's backcountry, but they also run the lifts, I think, for at least some of the stages.
Yeah, so there's lift assisted enduros too. So that's another format. So they basically you have a transition where you ride like mid mountain and you'll catch one of the lifts and they'll take you to the top.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Does that feel do you feel like you're cheating when that happens? Or you're like, man.
It probably depends how big the mountain is.
Yeah. I did one on Bachelor. It was lift assisted. And if we had to ride all the way to the top of Mount Bachelor in Oregon,
you'd be like
multiple times, no way. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, so I think the terrain's a lot different here, right? I mean, they had one on Mount Lemmon, did you ever ride Mount Lemmon when you were here?
I never rode it down like you guys did the other weekend. Like I wish I had, but I never knew where the trails really were. I rode up there a few times.
Yeah, I didn't either until like this last year. I really had no idea, but so that was
like the Bug Spring trails and all those, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they have a handful of them, and that is, even still, we're not dealing with like wet, muddy conditions, right?
Right.
I mean,
yeah, it's just dry.
It's still dry, and it's just
hard.
Mostly rocky. On Mount Lemmon, it's just mostly chunk. And the enduro they did up here is they even shuttled up the road, but the trails aren't ever like just downhill, even on Mount Lemmon, right? It's like you have sections of downhill and some sections of kind of climb in the middle, and they turned some of that into transition stages, I think. But
some of the stages had climbing on it, and I think what you're saying, Derek, is most of what you do, you're not climbing on the timed sections of your stages at all. Is that true?
Most of them you're not. Yeah, so that may be a big differential. And the cool part of enduro, some of your stages might be cross country, right? Like that's kind of how it sounds like.
I think they try to avoid it. Even on Mount Lemmon, like there may be some up and down in it. You know what I mean? It's not just like a straight downhill profile, but I think where there was any like major sections of climbing, they turned it into a transition stage. You know what I mean?
Got it. Yeah.
So, but the one I'm doing at Haas, I think is in Phoenix is probably like a baby enduro based on my experience with the trails that I've rode there. Right? Like the trails I've rode there, I went and rode some of the trails they did in the enduro last year, and they're very flowy, right? Like some of them are berms, but you don't have a lot of berms in Arizona, but they are machined trails, groomed trails, a lot of flat turns. They're pretty, they can be really dry and loose, a lot of drops, but still like pretty flowy. There was a couple of technical trails I went down, but they're not super chunk, I mean.
Well, your definition of chunk and what's super chunk and not chunk is probably different than our average listener.
But just not different than what you're going to ride at the Pacific Northwest and in those enduros. Those are crazy chunky.
I don't know. I've never ridden up there.
I haven't either, but I've seen videos.
Are they crazy chunky?
Yeah,
Derek?
for sure.
So yeah, it depends on where you go, but like it can be rocky. It can be mostly rooty. Rooty is like kind of crazy because it gets wet and it's like a whole nother dimension. Yeah, it's slippery. So that's pretty cool.
All right, so I got to bring us back to the suspension system, the Delta system on Evil bikes, because I'm like, while you guys have been talking, I've been reading up a little bit on it here, and it's actually a Dave Weigel. So this is kind of like, the DW Link, right? Who does, there's many bikes, Ibis, and many companies that have DW Links, but it's like the evolution of Dave's like suspension. They call it Dave's extra legitimate travel apparatus. Is what on the Evil's website. I like these guys, man.
Dude, their marketing is great.
Their marketing's great. It looks like the most complicated thing I've ever seen. So
there was a girl at the clinic. I did this homegrown clinic this last weekend on Mount Lemon, like their women's clinic. I've done it like 2 years now, but one of the girls in my group actually spends most of the year in Boise in Idaho, and she rides. She said there's a lot of bike parks there, and then she can get up to Canada and ride bike parks there. But she was riding it at Reckoning. She loved it. I think it was the girl from Boise. One of the girls in my group. I think it was the one from Boise had a Reckoning. But
you like that bike, huh?
So I've ridden it twice, and I liked it so much that I went on some double blacks over in the local network, and I went high side and fell off a cliff, and I'm pretty known for that.
Legit fell off a cliff?
So tell us more about why you only rode it twice, how you fell off a cliff, and your current state of health.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so I was coming down. I was almost down kind of exit 27 trails, and it was super moon dusty end of the season. And I caught a rock, like just skirting a turn on the dust, and it threw me high side. And when I say I fall off a cliff, I kind of, when you high side, kind of over the bars high side, kind of falling down instead of falling into the hill. You're falling the other way, so you immediately like fly further. And I caught my thumb, and I popped the ligament in my thumb, so that sucked. So that's probably worse than breaking a bone. At least that's how I chalk it up at this point.
And you're in a big old cast right now, or at least you were like recently.
I was. I'm out of that now.
For your thumb?
Just a little brace.
Oh my god!
He was in a big old, like this when I broke my. Remember the cast that I was in when I broke my thumb at Arapahoe Basin or whatever, a basin, messing around on a snow in the snow park, which I shouldn't have been on a snowboard, doing something stupid. Broke my wrist, but same exact cast that he was in basically for that thumb. So what did they do? You had surgery, right?
Yeah, they had to reattach my ligament to my bone. So it was a good time.
Dude, how long are you out for?
Let's see. I just went to physical therapist. They said I have about 6 weeks more. So.
I noticed on your Strava you're just doing a lot of like weightlifting. Maybe that's why. Huh?
Every day, baby.
Every day lifting the weights. So have you? When can you get? Are you riding anything? Are you riding a trainer or anything like that, just to keep your legs in shape?
I'm doing a lot of squats, and I hike every morning. So
okay, you don't have a Peloton.
I do hill sprint.
You don't have a Peloton.
I do it. No, my internet's not good enough for a Peloton.
Really? You don't have like StarNet where you're at?
Don't you work from home, dude?
I do, but I get away with really low bandwidth.
My internet's not good enough.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's funny, man. Is Starlink not available in your area?
No, I have Starlink, but it's good for streaming and everything. But I have a delay every 3 minutes. I have like a 15-second delay, so I can stream, I can play on the internet with it and everything, but I can't do like Zoom calls or team calls because cuts out every 3 minutes.
And this is like Elon Starlink, right? That's what you're using.
Yeah, I live in the tall trees, so unless I get like 100-foot pole, I can't really like skirt the tree.
So why don't you get a big old pole, dude?
I need to get a big pole, dude.
I got a big pole, dude.
Let's get a big pole. You strap it to the big old cedar, dude.
Just
We
climb
can
up
bolt
there,
it
man.
on
How
there.
hard is it, dude? This is like a
Hard.
half
My trees
bottle
are
of whiskey in a 30-minute problem. We can fix this.
My-
Do I need to fly up
my-
there and help you with this? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. My trees are 200 feet tall. Like they're amazingly tall. So yeah, please come help me.
Yeah, I'm not going to
do it
climb. But
together.
we can hire someone that will climb up there and do it. I'm sure we can go to Home Depot and find somebody to help you. Come on, man.
Yeah, damn right.
We can get this
All right,
done.
I like your ideas. Come up here, dude. If that's what it takes to get you up here, totally.
Listen,
I'll have my
I'm in.
Starlink to
Hey,
ship
so this is something I wanted to ask you about. So we want to come visit you. Do you got room for us to stay with you, or is your place pretty not set up for that?
No, we're building a whole ADU on the side, so you'll definitely have space.
What is an ADU?
Just an additional unit.
Yeah, okay. You made that shit up, didn't you? You made that acronym up. You just Did you just make that up on the fly, or is this something you've been using for a while? Oh shit! What is it? What is the project completion date for that ADU?
Project completion, spring.
So if we came up there in the
Yeah.
summer, you guys would be able to fit us in?
Yeah. We have a trailer. We have a trailer you can stay in as well. So
Yeah,
we have
dude.
multiple things.
Totally, dude. Don't say it unless you're serious. I know you're being recorded on the podcast and you probably feel pressure right now, but we're going to come.
No, we've already talked about it. You're more than welcome, man. Anyone on the podcast, you pay us the $7,000. You got to be in W's place to stay.
That's awesome, man. Well, and you guys know that you guys are always welcome here in Tucson with us. We have plenty of room to put you up, so please feel free anytime. Hey,
Yeah, I want to correct myself. On ADU, it's accessory dwelling unit.
Oh, okay. But I liked your definition better. I know you're Googling that shit with your Starlink.
Yeah, it just cut out on me, so I got to check it. Hold on.
Oh, you go. Wait 15 seconds, and then it'll show you. Hey, tell me. So Nate actually came up and did a race with you guys.
Yeah.
Tell me that story. How do you do? Do you survive it?
Oh, yeah, I survived it, man. It was awesome. So the way I told it to him, I was like, yeah, you got to do an Enduro. Enduros is so cool. Like, the climbing, you got to climb, but it's like, you can climb, just drink a beer with your buddies while you're climbing, it's a social thing. And so we went and we did Cascadia Dirt Cup at Hood River, Oregon. The Hood River has
cool.
amazing
amazing
trails there. Yeah. And so Post Canyon there, I believe that's what it's called. Anyways, Hood River. And first time I've ridden it, first time he's ridden it. We went with a couple other local guys, and the trails there are so dialed, and it's so fun. But I'll never forget getting up half that climb. Nate just was like, "Oh yeah, beer with your buddy, son. This sucks."
He goes, "Where's the beer?"
Yeah, exactly. So and the funny thing is, because of him, I carried a beer in my pack, and he carried a beer in his pack pretty much the whole way. But we never got to a point comfortable enough where we would drink it because the trails are gnarly. We rode them all blind, which means you're racing them without ever riding them, right? And yeah, it was funny. Nate finished his first Enduro though. It was awesome.
What was he riding? Did he rent a bike or did he bring his bike up?
No, he brought his bike up. His FSR Specialized, old school at that time. Yeah.
Oh wow, with the old school Geo and everything. You took him on an Enduro race with old Geo. Oh, Derek, you're an asshole, man. You couldn't have found him a bike locally to help him out.
Yeah.
Did we lose him?
No, I'm here.
Hey, man. We really appreciate you coming on and talking with us for a while, man. Thank you so much, man. It's good to catch up.
So I could talk 2 more hours, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we will plan to do this again, 100% for sure. Mr. McLovin, you got any final thoughts for our listeners before we sign off?
No, this Mountain Cog thing you got going is pretty cool, man. If anything, it's brought us back together, talking the culture, sharing the culture, and bringing back some good memories and kind of grounding us where we are today. So I want to thank you for that. You and Lacey. You guys are rad.
You're most welcome, brother.
You guys got to come out here and stay with us and ride too. Now
Yeah,
that you got Kyla riding, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
I know.
that is
So
awesome.
sick.
And your kids on those Stay Six, don't you have kids on Stay Six?
Yeah, I have them ripping on common tail, kind of full cross country bikes as well. So.
Nice. Dude, riding at Duthy, it is
How old are your girls?
They're 6.
6. That's
but it's
awesome,
like a
dude.
Grom growing terrain. Like
Oh, yeah.
everybody,
That's awesome.
all the little kids are out there ripping, huh?
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, they have friends. They had friends in preschool that they're like, let's go to Mountain Bike Park. I was like, really? Okay.
You can hang out with those friends. Those ones are good.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey man, I want to give you some kudos too. So we haven't hung out a lot, but from what I see from social media, you appear to be, well, I know you're a badass professional and I know that you're a badass like athlete and mountain biker. I know you're in great shape and you appear to be an amazing dad as well. So just like kudos, like you are one of the people that when I try to think about what I need to do to be a better dad, I kind of look at what you're doing and try to emulate that, brother. So kudos for being a badass man.
Wow, man. That's really deep compliment. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Right on, brother. All right, man. We're gonna sign off. McLovin, we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Bye,
Hey,
Derek.
it was a pleasure. You guys keep it real.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you